And now, for this week's State of Trade in Star Citizen. Despite several known bugs, 3.10 debuted on live servers last week. This new patch brings several changes and additions worth mentioning. The flight model saw major revisions, with ships having slower handling and aerodynamic effects in atmosphere. With this change in flight, many have struggled to relearn the handling of their ships around spaceports. As a tip, enabling the right shift key has helped many pilots enter and exit hangars while preventing their ships from beginning to list, as it locks pitch and yaw. The Greycat Rock was pushed to live as well. While touted as a profitable ground-based mining vehicle, the Rock has been affected by an issue that causes it to miss about 80% of its collected cargo. While its cargo can be collected by hand, it is a time-consuming venture. For those dedicated to using the Rock, keep in mind that the Novikov and Pembroke armor are currently bugged and have zero inventory capacity. The MacFlex Rucksack Core is the best alternative for mass storage. Missiles and torpedoes have changed how they do damage. Discovered by Cameral, missiles now affect only one shield facing, instead of spreading their damage across all four. This means that only a few missiles are needed to down most ships, and even the Caterpillar can be downed by a single torpedo. With the new stealth mechanics and even shorter scan distances, this makes solo trading more dangerous than ever. Cameral's findings on missile damage changes can be found in the description below. Grim Hex has been expanded into a fully featured landing zone. Offering hangar support for ships of all sizes, many have relocated their trading operations to the station, as it is surprisingly safer for trade than Port Olisar. The MicroTech economy is fully online. Mining outposts on Calliope are now open for business, as well as outposts on MicroTech itself. Calliope features a medium amount of astatine, as well as a small source of agricium. MicroTech outposts feature astatine as well, with Mining Outpost 13 featuring diamond. However, this outpost is placed too high off the ground, requiring creative parking to get inside. Euterpe also sees the introduction of its first outpost. Bud's Growery is the only outpost on Euterpe, and features distilled spirits and processed food. Due to this location not being mentioned in patch notes, it is safe to assume that many traders are not aware of this location at this time. Finally, the economy regression issue has been resolved. Originally appearing during back-end maintenance on June 9th, the economy regressed to a broken system that made both supply and demand on all commodities nearly infinite. This took a month and a half to rectify and was corrected on July 28th. However, without an official statement from CIG, players were unaware that this was unintended, and many are struggling to adjust to the currently implemented economic model. And now for market data. In the metals market, agricium soared to 24.91 on Daymar, with deposits on Calliope reaching 24.54. Lyria had the lowest prices seen this week, holding near 23.84. This is far above a base pricing of 22.50. Medium haulers with double-digit STU would do well to focus on Lyria if attempting to trade in agricium, as all other locations are experiencing extreme shortages at this time. Titanium sees the usual trends, with deposits at Tram & Myers holding near 7.97. Ariel sources jump between 720 and 750, and SAL2 and 5 on Lyria see titanium soaring to 7.83. However, Humboldt Mines on Lyria sees prices hovering between a base of 7.10 and 7.16. Traders willing to risk the rocky terrain of Humboldt will find the most profitable titanium at this location. Gold continues to soar in pricing around Daymar, reaching as high as 5.89. While minor increases have been seen around MicroTech, deposits around Hurston and ArcCorp have stayed near their base pricing of 5.41. Tungsten surges once again, reaching 3.79 on Daymar and sees regular shortages. Deposits around ArcCorp saw minor increases in price before settling back to a base of 3.55. All other deposits remain unchanged. Aluminum sees no change and holds at 1.11 UEC at all locations. Legal Vice sees stems returning to their base of 2.8. with some locations seeing minor increases during peak trading. Traders have most likely been turned off by the low demand of stems at major ports. Distilled spirits sees typical surge pricing, reaching into the 4.60 range around Crusader. However, spirit traders now have a new option. As mentioned previously, MicroTech's Moon of Euterpe has a new outpost known as Bud's Growery. This location is unknown to many traders, and as such, its pricing of distilled spirits has only rose as high as 4.20. Those looking to trade the commodity would do well to check this outpost. In smuggling, many players were negatively affected by the economy fix, as several had bulk purchased illicit goods. Many players were left stranded with cargo holds full of slam, forcing them to wait several days while attempting to unload. State of Trade has no other data on the drug market at this time. In gases, Axton sees several new additions around MicroTech. The gas rose to 7.98 on Yela, with Ida and Walla deposits reaching as high as 7.72. A slew of new deposits on MicroTech may be worth checking out, as several reached only 7.30. However, their total supply caps may be limited, so bulk haulers such as Caterpillars may need to reconsider other commodities at this time. Axton has a rarely seen base price of 7 UEC. Chlorine sees little change except on Yela, when it reached 1.37 at Benson, slightly above its base of 1.30. Fluorine still sees heavy movement but no change in its buy price, holding firm at a base of 2.35. However, Deacon's on Yela has been flooded with the commodity, with a sell price reaching as low as 2.80, down from 2.95. Fluorine traders are recommended to unload their commodities at Grim Hex, as it is a quick jump from Yela and can now support landing services for all ships. Hydrogen sees minor price increases at ArcCorp 157 and Benson, briefly reaching 0.96 during peak trading before returning to its base price of 0.90. Iodine sees no change and holds at its base price of 0.35 UEC. In minerals, Laranite continues with its record highs and extreme shortages. After having a near-infinite supply during the regressed economy, many players have struggled to produce the profits they've become accustomed to. Laranite soared between 27.50 and 27.80 at all locations, far above its base price of 24.10. While the commodity is profitable, it is suggested that traders abandon Laranite and attempt alternative commodities at this time. Diamond sees typical movement as Tramon Myers continues to supply at a base price of 5.85. Prices rose to around 6.20 on Magda, with Wallace seeing highs near 6.30. Diamond sees a new supply at Shubin SMO13 on MicroTech. However, the outpost is placed too high off the ground, meaning many players cannot access this outpost. Creative parking can solve this issue, giving traders access to a fairly exclusive stash of the mineral. Beryl sees atypical movement reaching 4.15 on Daymar, up from a base of 4.06. State of Trade would once again like to remind traders that Beryl has the lowest profit margin of all commodities, coming in at a disappointing 8% profit margin. Combined with its high buy-in, this commodity should be the last pick of any trading lineup. Quartz sees minor increases on Daymar, reaching the 1.30 range. All other deposits hold firm at 1.25. Corundum sees little movement and holds firm at a base of 2.30 at all locations. The scrap trade has surged in popularity once again. With Grim Hex now offering full landing services, more traders are moving bulk haulers direct from Grim to Port Olisar. Prices surged to the 1.50 range, with Crew L1 seeing similar. Traders looking to move scrap at its base price of 1.35 would do well to visit R&Rs away from the main trade lanes. Medical supplies see a brief falling off. Still holding in the high 16 range around MicroTech, Hicks on Cellin sees a low of 15.80, close to a base price of 15.75. The brief slump in movement can be attributed to traders encountering the intended demand limits at major ports. Agricultural supply see no changes and hold at 1 UEC. Processed food sees the same and holds at 1.21 UEC. And now for next week's forecast. Expect a repeat of last week as traders relearn the economy. Laranite and agricium will be in short supply. Humboldt on Lyria will be an excellent location for titanium, although it may see minor increases in price. Diamond may see more movement out of Tram and Myers as players search for an alternative to acetine and titanium. Take advantage of Bud's growery on Euterpe for cheap distilled spirits before it is discovered by more players. And now for this week's trading tip. The most profitable route is usually also the most dangerous. With stealth and missiles more powerful than ever, you are more likely to encounter rapid disassembly at places such as Ariel and Tram and Myers. Consider slightly less profitable routes that are off the beaten path. While they make less profit overall, you have a higher chance of making the jump with your cargo still intact. That's it for this week's State of Trade. Until next time, keep on trucking.